been, oh shoot, how long? It's already been like 2 to 4 weeks since we've done a live stream, so I just wanted to hop live for you guys this evening before the weekend. Hopefully you all have had a great summer. And we'll just kind of dive right into it. If you're new and tuning in for the first time, by the way, wonder who the heck is this guy? My name is Griffin Thomas, of course, and I own a pest control company in the Dallas, Texas area, Plano, Texas specifically, Preferred Pest Management. We've been in business already almost 4 years now. I just document that journey here on YouTube and all my other social media platforms for you guys. The good, the bad, the ugly, what's working for us, what's not working for us, things that we're learning, things that we're implementing, just all that good stuff. If you don't know my story, of course, I lost my job in 2020 during the whole COVID craziness and started my business and took that business from 0 to 6 figures my first year. And like I said, I just document my entire journey throughout the good, the bad, the ugly. Real quickly, before we get started, because I know we usually have a few people start tuning in within a few minutes or so, I want to pull up some comments because I always like to go over questions and things of that nature that people have had previously that we haven't gotten to. We haven't done a live stream in, like I said, about a month, if not more at this point. So a lot of comments. I try to respond and keep up with them in the comments when I can, but I also like to address some of them in the live streams as well, which leads me to my next point. If you have any questions whatsoever throughout the live, don't hesitate to drop it down in the chat. And if you see this when it's no longer a live stream and it's a video, feel free to drop in the comments as well, and we'll address it in a future stream or video too. But with that, we'll get into the overall topic at hand, which is, starting your business, growing your business, specifically if you're looking at starting a pest control business or just growing it. I know there's a lot of people out there who they've started their business. They may have been in business even for like 10 plus years, and they're just kind of stagnant. They're right around that like 30 to 70,000. I notice a lot of people seem to settle right around like 50 to 100 in a lot of cases. And someone actually brought it up in the comments, and I was trying to find that comment. It's making me mad that I can't find it because it was a pretty recent comment. It was on our video about, working with urgency to get through the solopreneur stage of business. And where did it go? There we go. Destin Jones said, I've been doing my business for a few years. My problem is motivation to get more work. I turn stuff down. And that actually leads into a topic that not enough people in business in general, not just our industry, but in business in general, entrepreneurship, whatever you want to call this space on YouTube, no one talks about, becoming complacent. Like, it's one thing to be grateful, thankful for where you are. Like, I always try to remind myself every morning to just thank God for just, blessing me with the opportunities that I'm blessed with. But if you're not careful, you can start to actually become complacent, like Destin in the comments was talking about. Once you've been in the grind for, a few years, usually your first year or two, you don't really have this issue because you're just trying to stay alive. You're trying to, just pay the bills. You don't have time to get complacent because there's nothing to be complacent about. But once you get past that hurdle, right? Those of you that are probably in that like $50,000 to $100,000 range, you probably know what I'm talking about, or maybe even 120, 150, depending on where you're at. You may know what I'm even talking about here, where it's like, once you get through that initial hurdle, it takes so much work, grind, effort, blood, sweat, tears, however you want to phrase it, to get through that first level of just covering your necessities, covering your bills, covering, your equipment costs, taxes, all that. Once you get through that initial hurdle, a lot of people can kind of take their foot off the gas, and yours truly here included in that. You guys know I had that video, about 6 months ago now, roughly, titled, my biggest mistake in business or most costly mistake, something like that, where I talk about a $25,000, F up that we did in terms of increasing our lifestyle. We went from renting a home that was less than $2,000 a month to a home that's like, when we moved out, they were actually raising the rent to $3,500 a month. It had a pool, it was a totally nice house. And, if I didn't have goals further than where I was at that point, then it'd be okay because we were able to live and all that. But it just took so much money out of the business that I wasn't able to invest as much as I know I wanted to and needed to in terms of advertising, SEO, things of that nature. And that is one, a F up, but also it's complacency, because when you think short-sighted and you're not thinking long-term, that's when you do little dumb things like that, if that makes sense. At least that's, again, my story. Like Destin said here, his problem is staying motivated. And we talked about this a few times on the channel. There's a difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation, if you're going to depend on motivation to grow your business or to have good days, whatever the case may be, you're only going to have maybe like 1 to 5 good days a month. Because think about it, how many days as a business owner or even as an employee, how many days do you wake up just motivated? Like, oh, I'm going to crush today. Not very many, right? So that's where you have to develop this muscle, this discipline muscle. And there's a lot of ways you can do it. Me personally, I like doing things like, maybe cutting certain foods out of my diet for, a long period of time. Obviously, like going to the gym, maybe working out outside. Some of the, quote unquote, corny stuff like cold showers or any type of, getting into cold water. Just things that you don't want to do. When you start doing things that you don't want to do over and over and over, you're building discipline. So that's one thing I always suggest, if you're like what Destin was talking about, I think it's Destin, it's either Destin or Dustin, talking about just having issues with motivation. Don't look for motivation, look for discipline. Do things repeatedly over and over and over that you don't want to do. I know it might sound crazy, like why would I force myself to do more that I don't want to do? Trust me, the more things that you do, like even if you just make a little list, like 3 to 4 things that you're like, I gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, I hate it all, but I gotta do it. Do that for like a week straight and keep track of it, by the way. Don't just do it, like keep track of it in an app, on pen and paper, whatever the case may be. Take a look at that after a week and see how it feels. That's how you start to build positive momentum, and it's much easier to keep momentum than it is to recapture momentum. Notice I'm using the word momentum and not motivation. A lot of times motivation will come in with that because, say you're having a day where it's just a shit day and you're like, man, I really don't want to do this, this, and this. You're going to look back at those 7, 10, 30, however many days, and you're going to be motivated to keep that streak going. So it all intertwined at the end of the day. It's all, in the same pool. But I always like to tell people, don't focus on that word motivation as much as discipline. So hopefully that helps with that question. I see we got a few of y'all starting to roll in here slowly but surely. Hopefully y'all are having a great night. Bryson says, what's up, Griffin? Have you ever closed a monster deal before, like someone who wants to sign up 10 houses at once or a corporate deal? I had someone who had me sign up 14 houses they own all at once. It was such a blessing. Yes, sir. That's awesome to hear. Congrats on that. And I guess it depends. Like I tend to look at it in terms of the dollar amount more than like the units, if that makes sense. Because like I know you were saying like 10 houses or 14, that all this and that, which a lot of times they can't correlate. Like obviously more homes is going to mean more money, right? But there's also a flip side to it where it's like, we just signed up a commercial account, what was it, a month or 2 ago, who honestly I didn't even think we had a chance on getting. Luckily for me, the dude was like the guy who's the decision maker in that. I think he was the CFO or something like that. Like he really wanted us to, lock in that deal with them. So he was, kind of the middleman between me and the actual CEO who's like, yes, we're going with this company. And I literally thought we had no chance. I learned a lot throughout that experience, and we ended up locking it in. It's going to come out, I think, to somewhere around a $3,000 to $4,000 a year account. So, nothing crazy. But again, I love stacking up those commercial deals like that, which is actually counter to my video about why commercial work sucks. There is a positive and negative, obviously, like we talk about in that video. But I would say in terms of residential, I have had a few people where like they've had, they started out with their personal home, and then once they saw that we do good work on their personal home, they open us up to their rental properties, and we get like 3 or 4 rental properties. I have another woman who, we treat her home. And then she was like, okay, let's go ahead and do my dad's home and my in-laws' home. So, I mean, that was 3 homes right there. I've had restaurants where, I literally started in almost the center of this little plaza, and then she ended up referring me to the people next door, and then the other people next door, and then that person referred me to someone in Richardson, Texas, who also owns a commercial property. Like, the spread of the word of mouth, right? And then one of those actually ended up getting another restaurant. Now they're having me treat that starting last month. So, I'm trying to think in terms of like my biggest sell ever. That's actually a good question. I've never even thought about that before. I know it's been a while. I've been kind of on a dry streak lately in terms of like just knockout big sells. I've had a lot of, termite work, a lot of, like I said, little commercial accounts where we're adding like $200 a month here, $90 a month there, $300 there. But in terms of just like a giant account, we haven't really had one. Even the last time we quoted one, it was an apartment complex. Like, they wanted a quote for 6 different apartment complexes that they manage, and the average unit size was around 400 units. Their smallest one was like 180 or something like that. That was a massive quote, and that was actually like two and a half years ago now. So that was like the biggest that I've ever quoted. I was very new at quoting commercial work back then. I was, a year or so into business. My local SEO was just starting to kind of take off a little bit. And I probably massively overquoted it, but, it's all learning experience, right? I noticed that rodent stations are a big thing when it comes to, obviously, commercial work. But when I first started pricing commercial work, would price it based on how many stations I believe needed to be sat out based on my experience with residential, where with commercial, it's a totally different ball game. Instead of setting out one station every like 20 to 40 feet, you might set them out every 50 feet or even 75 to 100 feet, depending on the layout of the property in terms of the linear footage, right? Yeah, no, you got me thinking now. I'm wondering, like, what is my biggest sell ever? I mean, like I said, I got multiple accounts that they pay us anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 a year. But in terms of just a huge one, I don't know if we got one that's over. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. We definitely don't have an account that's over 10,000 that I can recall just off the top of my head. I would surely remember that. Like I said, I got a handful of them where they're 4,000 a year, even 5 or 6, but I don't think we have one that's like over 10 or anything crazy. Bryson also said, what do you like more, quarterly or bi-monthly customers? Out here in Oregon, I really like to advertise bi-monthly because it's more revenue. Well, I've actually broken down the math before, and at least in terms of the recurring revenue, and it is much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, scalable to do quarterly. Like, you end up making a lot more in terms of top line, but, and as long as your cancel rate, reservice rate, etc. is low enough, the bottom line too is going to be more. But we have a mix of everything. We usually like to start people out on a quarterly, and then we'll adjust that frequency as we need to. If they live off of a lake or they live out in the country, it's pretty much a non-starter to put them on quarterly. Like, we're going to start them on bi-monthly no matter what, just because we notice that after right around that 50 to 60 day period, boom, like clockwork, even using the best chemicals for spiders, scorpions, things of that nature, after 50, 60 days, those wolf spiders will start showing up like crazy, even using a product like Onslaught Fast Cap or really any MGK product, right? They have some really good products when it comes to the microencapsulated chemicals. But every situation is different. I would say as of right now, let me see if I can pull it up on my GorillaDesk dashboard for you just to give you an idea of what our recurring is looking like in terms of, let's see, not last month. I just want to do like this year. So let's see. This is actually messing up right now. I can still tell this is a work in progress for GorillaDesk. In the dashboard, they started to show a like active job, which would kind of give you some insight in terms of like how many, termite renewals do we have? How many quarterly services do we have? How many monthlies do we have? But this thing is not working properly right now. Let me see. So I'm trying to do a custom one really quick. Maybe if I do all time. No, that's still not right. I mean, it's at least close. I can at least give you an idea. So less than 5% of our customers are on monthly. Let's see. Yeah, this still isn't right at all. So I'm just going to go based off of what I know. Because I was saying like 0.8%. It's obviously not 0.8%. That'd be like one customer. And I know we got more than one customer on monthly service. So like I said, I'll just do it based off of what I know, based on just doing it every day. Less than 5% is monthly. Less than probably a quarter, maybe a third at the absolute most, are bi-monthly. And then the rest of that is going to be, quarterly services. But like I said, I mean, it's situational. Like if we look up their address and it's on a lake, it's monthly. Like no questions asked. Now, if they push back on the monthly, because of course it's a lot more in terms of that month-to-month cost, like it's easier to sell someone on a quarterly service for $35 a month or $50 a month or $25, whatever your pricing may be, versus, oh, hey, we got to come out monthly. That's going to be $90 a month or $75 a month, right? Just because the monthly expense is a lot more. But, if they'll push back on that, then we'll say, hey, we just want to be totally upfront. We can start you out on bi-monthly, but the moment you call us back for like spiders or anything like that within that bi-monthly period, we're moving you up to monthly just because that's what we have to do. Essentially, we don't warranty it in that case, but that's pretty rare. Usually if we explain to people that, living off the lake, usually that's what they call about, right? It's usually spiders, maybe wasp. It just depends, but usually we don't get any pushback. It's mostly if they've called some idiot, larger company who all they sell and push is quarterly because they're just trained robots. They don't actually know shit about pest control at the end of the day. If they talk to one of those first before they call us, that is usually when we have to kind of go into education mode a little bit. Like, hey, yeah, no, I totally understand. We usually will put people on quarterly, but let me tell you why monthly or maybe bi-monthly is going to be best for you. We're not trying to get more money out of you. We're actually making less money on you per service because of having to go out there more frequently, but this is what's going to give you the best results, and usually they appreciate that. So let's see, signed up 14 houses at $69 a month for each house on bi-monthly. Yeah, no, that you can't complain about that at all. Yeah, over $11,000 a year. Yeah, no, that's not too bad at all, especially if you're going out there. $69 a month for each. Yeah, bi-monthly. So, I mean, you're talking $138 per treatment. That is not bad at all. I was going ridicule. That's helpful to hear. Yeah, no, for sure. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. If you are, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up button. Share the stream with somebody if you know somebody that might benefit from it or anything like that. Like I said, tonight I'm just kind of hopping on, trying to give you all... just not just words of encouragement, because I don't really believe in that BS, but, just advice. We were talking about being complacent earlier, discipline versus motivation, yada, yada, yada. If you're just tuning in, you can feel free to rewind it back. It was about 15 minutes ago, roughly. But I also want to give you guys just overall updates on things that we are doing. So those of you that are in Discord and maybe even Facebook, I don't remember if I mentioned this on Facebook or not, but you guys know that we have been purchasing some backlinks from a couple of different SEO agencies. I can't stress enough, not like backlink farms, so to speak. That's the worst thing you can do for your website is purchase just trash backlinks that are, $1, $10, even $20 per backlink. I paid for one backlink $320 something dollars, and then I paid about $40 for another backlink. And then I had the one that I paid like $40 for backlink for. He also does like directory listing management, so I had him go in there and like make sure all of our directories were right. And we have been getting some increase in terms of overall backlinks, referring domains, things of that nature. However, we did notice, I'm going to pull up my Google Search Console just so I don't misspeak on the numbers and everything. Google Search Console, by the way, if you don't know what that is very important. As soon as you create your website for your business, you need to go into Google Search Console and claim that website, because it's going to give you a whole lot of more insight than what you can get from like Google Analytics. Google Analytics and things of that nature are important too. Microsoft Clarity, that's another tool where you can see like, if you have a high bounce rate on a certain page, you can see like where people are leaving the page. You can literally watch people scroll, what buttons are clicking, all this stuff is pretty cool and free. But Google Search Console specifically is the first thing that you need to get, because it shows you everything. How many clicks your websites had, how many impressions your websites had, what's your average CTR, what's your average position. You can break it down by page, by search term, like so much data. And the main thing you want to do when you go into that, and I'll probably do a video screen sharing just so y'all can kind of see it sometime. I think I've done a video or two before about Google Search Console, but it's been a while. So one thing that we noticed was our page ranks had kind of gone up a little bit overall over the last like month. We started having an average page rank across our entire website. Not just our homepage, not just our entire website, which is like 100 to 200 pages at this point. Our average page rank was in the low 40s. Like it was steadily going up. We were stuck in like the 60s and 50s for the longest. And then we started kind of having some upper, or I guess lower 40s. Like on August 13th, our average page rank was 42.4. Monday the 12th, 45, 47. Like we were starting to kind of, okay, we're out of the 50s and 60s, now we're in the 40s in terms of, again, the overall website, not just the homepage. But then we noticed, shortly after some of these backlinks started coming in, we dropped back down into the 60s, which, don't get me wrong, like, when it comes to SEO, it's not just going to be a straight up graph. It's not going to be even, a staircase or anything. It's going to have great days, it's going to plateau, you might have a bad couple days or weeks in some cases, and then go back up. Like it's kind of a roller coaster. But what really did it for me was I saw, okay, we've recovered, we had hit 64 on a really bad day, and then we recovered, back to around like 50, 49, and then I noticed one day we dropped to 70, and I was like, okay, I need to check this every day for the next few days. Next day, 77. Next day, 147.8. That's right, 147.8. Next day, boom, 55. So we went from 54, 77, 147, pretty much 148, and then bam, just straight up to 55, and now it's, back and forth, around 50, essentially. That is not normal, and it's not good. What that actually means, when you go from, it doesn't matter if you're in like the 20s, doesn't matter if you're in page 1, which in our industry, you're not going to have an average page rank of page 1. We're not blogging websites. Like we have a lot of competitors. But my whole point is whenever you see a massive drop and then you spike immediately, that is Google's way of letting you know, hey, we noticed some bullshit on your website. Like it's a penalty. It's literally a manual penalty is what it's called. So that immediately let me know. I was like, one of these links that I got is a bullshit link. And I went into SEMrush and I noticed, or actually it's Ahrefs, but SEMrush shows it too. I'll get it pulled up here. We had a backlink from a page literally called uplink GorillaDesk.com/SEO/optimization.com. Have no idea where that came from. It's not even one that I bought. I went through because both of the agencies that I have bought some links from, they gave reports, like they actually showed this is where your link is. They showed me what page it was on. This is what's called, I think they call it, I don't remember if it's parasite SEO or negative SEO, what's the word they use for it. But sometimes your competitors will actually pay to have shit backlinks put on your website. Now, I'm not saying that any of my competitors did that or anything, because my website isn't like page one across the web or anything like that. But somehow we got a couple of bad backlinks, and I'm having to go in there and do what's called a disavow of the link. It's letting Google know that, hey, I don't want this backlink. I recognize this is a bad backlink. Like, get rid of it. And, you know, that's supposed to help your website overall. But that leads me to my next point, which is after doing all this experimenting, trying to do it myself, you guys know I've been doing all my blogging and this and that, just the whole website thing myself the last like year, almost 2 years now. We're coming up on 2 years of doing the website management, all me, only me. And then after experimenting with a couple of these agencies, I finally got in contact with one that I was referred to by a couple of pest control business owners, I believe in the Bug Bucks community on Facebook. Shout out to those guys. There's a lot of, you know, multimillionaires that are in the pest control industry in that group also. And I posted a question on there one day just asking like, hey, you know, who are you all using for SEO? Like, what are you guys using? Specifically, those of you that are having success, right? Like, who are you guys using? And, you know, there was like two that were mentioned the most. And then I ended up going with the one that just, you know, was by far, if you are able to find my post on Bug Bucks, you'll see it was mentioned like 4 or 5 times in a period of like 12 comments. So I was like, you know what? I'll get in touch with these guys. I'll go ahead and tell you guys who they are too, just because I just had a meeting with them today. I'm not, you know, affiliated with them or anything. I want to make sure I get their names right though. Where's it at? Digital Overlords is their name, is the name of the company that is. And their services are surprisingly affordable. Like, I mean, it's not cheap or anything, but it is surprisingly affordable. You know, they start right around $400 a month, which obviously if you're first starting, do not worry about this. Obviously, you need to get a website up and going, try to optimize it the best you can yourself, get some free leads coming in from that. Once you get to a point where you can start investing into, you know, things like your SEO, your marketing, all that stuff, feel free to hit these guys up. They're a very, you know, small company. I think it's like a couple people that do it. And yeah, I'm definitely interested to see, you know, where we go. They're talking about doing somewhere around four to like 6 blogs a month at that $400 price range. They're talking about doing backlink building. They're talking about, you know, a lot of good stuff, you know, managing the website, you know, helping fix some errors on the website, making suggestions to me. That's the other thing. That is what sold me. This what I'm about to tell you guys is what sold me on going ahead and going forward with these guys today. Was our conversation was pretty much, hey, you know, if you're able to help us, because they sense based on our conversation, they're like, you know more, and I'm not like patting myself on the back at all, because like I told him, I was like, I feel like I don't know shit because I just got a penalty, right? But he was like, you know more about website, on-site SEO, off-site SEO, all that stuff than any pest control operator that we've ever done business with before. And he was like, with that, you have the opportunity here, if you feel like you are able to type up blogs, because they looked at some of my stuff and they're like, if you're able to produce stuff like this and just like send it to us, like what it comes down to with SEO, like anything, is how many hours are they putting in. For $400 a month, you're only going to get so many hours when it comes to the SEO, right? Like, they're not going to work every single day for $400 a month. So with that, he was telling me, if you can get us some blog posts, like already kind of like a rough draft, right, and send it over to them, that they'll work with it, they will work with it, make sure that it has the keywords it needs, make sure it has proper internal linking, make sure that it's ready to go out to, the different people that they're going to reach out to about backlinks. And what I loved also was with the backlinks, they don't just go out, they don't have a bunch of websites that they get backlinks from. They reach out to like local, like businesses that are in your community for backlinks. They'll reach out to people that are in the pest control industry. Like, you're not just getting directory backlinks, you're not just getting BS PBM backlinks. Like, they're actually going out and emailing, calling, doing what they need to do to get you a backlink, which is going to help obviously your website tremendously, because backlinks are, about 80% of SEO at the end of the day. So like I said, I'm not even affiliated with them. I literally just got off of an hour meeting with them from 3 to 4 p.m. this afternoon. They just sent me an email over about, what they're going to do, what to expect, that we're going to probably talk again here this upcoming week. We're going to do like a deep website audit with a checklist of what needs to be done. And like I said, what I loved is it's not just, hey, I'm paying you, you do this, let me know how it's going, we'll report back once a month. Like, we are going to be in constant communication on like a weekly and monthly basis about, blog content, video content, even podcast content, just anything that we need to do to, increase our search engine optimization at the end of the day. Let's see. Do you like to run Google LSA on all summer long? I'm thinking about trying it out. Honestly, I'm to the point I'm kind of over Google LSA. I think at least down here, it seems like it's ran its course. The lead quality has gone so downhill. I don't know if that's because of the economy or what. But Google LSA is just getting overpriced for the quality of the leads. Just again, from my experience, we've had all of a sudden like a handful of them come in over the last week or two. We've had one that's actually gone through. Average price has come down because I set my own price. I set my max lead cost at $35 a lead, so that has helped a little bit. But it's one of those things where if I'm running it, I'm going to run it how I am right now, which is like I'm running it on very strict hours. I'm running it in only a select few towns, and I'm setting my bid at the lowest amount that they'll allow me to set it at, because, the lead quality is just not that great. I would put it up there with Facebook. Like, the lead quality is that of Facebook, which any of you that run Facebook ads probably know that Facebook ads, their lead quality for the pest control industry sucks. How's it going there, Stefan? Nice to see you're back streaming. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been about a month already. I started advertising on Google recently. I pretty much copied your theme plate. But my ads aren't getting me any calls. Any idea what I could be doing wrong? Phew, that's a loaded question. So let's see. My friend copied your theme plate, but he has been booming. So yeah, you're having some issues with it. He apparently is doing pretty good, which is good for him at least. But and shout out Bug Out Termite and Pest Control too. How's it going? But no, man, that's a loaded question when it comes to like what could you be doing wrong. Like, there's a lot of things, right? Like, when you say the theme, are you referring to the landing page, or are you referring to like my setup of the back end of the Google ad, if that makes sense? Because there's two vastly different answers. Because if you're referring to the theme, like the template in terms of our landing page, that obviously that's a loaded question as well, because it could be color, it could be where are your latest video about creating a Google ad. Man, it's been so long. I don't even remember when's the last time I posted about Google ads. Was that like back in spring? Let's see, get more leads by spying on your, no, not that one. Trying to find out which video you're referring to off the top of my head. If I'm gonna assume that you're referring to when we were talking about like how to set up the Google ad, like within the Google Ads platform. Because yeah, if you're talking about the landing page, let me know. We can talk about the landing page too. But in terms of like setting up the Google Ads specifically, there's a couple things that could be going on. One, your cost for keywords could be more expensive, which usually Google is, to their credit, very good about showing you. I'll show you, I'll flip my camera around here in a second just so you can see what I'm talking about. So like this one right here, for example, see how it says eligible, limited, below first page bid, $49.53, where we are only bidding $15. That means obviously you're not gonna get a lot of impressions. This is this is actually old data. This is from September 4th. But either way, my point is like, it could be this. It could be that, you know, your competitors are outbidding you. It could be that, you know, what they call the landing page experience isn't good. You know, for example, here for search term bedbug exterminator, it shows for us landing page experience average. You know, that's good. You know, as long as you're at average or better, you're going to be getting, you know, some traffic, assuming that you have your max CPC set right and things of that nature. You'll be getting leads from that. If it says below average, it's not the end of the world, but you know, you want to like keep an eye on it. You might have to bid more. If the landing page experience is at below average, you're probably going to have to bid more. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to Google Ads. Like, I'm just getting into kind of like the mental checklist I go through whenever I see like, man, why are we not getting any traffic? Like, and that's the other thing. So when you say that, you know, you're not getting, how'd you say it? You aren't getting any calls. Okay, so you're not getting any calls, but how many impressions is that ad getting? How many clicks is that ad getting? Like, what's the CTR? And then what is the conversion rate? Do you have your conversion rate tracking set up properly where you know where your calls and forms, all that stuff are coming in from with like CallRail or something of that nature? Is that set up properly, like where you know for a fact where those leads are coming from? Which I'm going to assume that you do, but if not, then obviously that's rule number one. Like, obviously get all your tracking set up properly. But assuming all of your tracking templates are set up properly and all that stuff, then like I said, my first thing that I go to is under audience, keywords, and content. Go to search keywords. It'll pull up all your keywords for the ad. And then assuming you have your campaign set at max CPC like we do, where you bid on each individual keyword, not the entire campaign, you're bidding on each individual keyword specifically to get the best bang for your buck. That tip alone is going to save you all hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So give your boy a like if you haven't. But you know, play around with that first. You know, usually I'd say raise those bids a couple dollars. Pay attention to the landing page experience. Pay attention to your CTR. And then, like I said, I mentioned this a few minutes ago, set up Microsoft Clarity. It's free to set up. And what you can do is you can see literally like where people, it's kind of crazy. It's the whole, whenever you go on a website and it says like accept cookies or whatever, that's what it is you're literally giving them access to see like where you're clicking, you know, selling your information, obviously, too, all that BS. But, you know, using Microsoft Clarity, a free tool, you can literally see, okay, they clicked on the page. Are they backing out immediately? If so, that means there's something in the hero section, which if you don't know what the hero section is, it's, or above the fold, it really depends. I'm just going to type in, you know, pest control near me just to show you guys an example. So who's got a lot of ad money? Terminex has a lot of ad money. We'll click on their ad. So this right here, for example. So whenever you load the page up, what you see before you make a single scroll, this is what they call above the fold or the hero section. So if you see that people are clicking on this page and then bam, backing out immediately, that means that people are not liking what they're seeing. Duh, right? As soon as they view the page, like they're like either A, I didn't mean to hit this page. B, I want to have a call now button. Like it really just depends on the person's intent, right? That's where also having a tool like ClickSeize while you're running Google Ads, at least early on, can really help you out because it will determine, some of it fraud, things of that nature. I'm not using ClickSeize anymore just because I used it enough where I got kind of the gist. I needed to exclude a bunch of countries and different states and this and that. But it is a cool tool to use like your first 3 to 6 months using Google Ads. That way you can, get a true idea of just how much fraudulent click activity there is out there. But like I said, definitely set up Microsoft Clarity. That will give you lots of clarity, pun intended, as to, what is going on with the user experience. Now, if you're not getting impressions or clicks, specifically impressions, then like we said, that's where you're definitely going to have to go in and add to your budget in terms of what you're willing to pay per click. Because if you're not getting impressions, it means more than likely you're not bidding enough. It could also mean that your optimization score sucks. It could mean that your budget per day is not set up high enough. Like us, we have our budget set at $200 per day, but we never hit $200 a day on this bedbug campaign that we've been running. We might hit like 60 in a day, right? But for the most part, like, let me see how much this campaign has spent over the last, we'll do we can just say all time even. Because I've ran this campaign since Q1 of this year. We've spent $541 all year on this campaign. So, and we've sold numerous bedbug jobs from it too, which is why I keep running it, because it's working. But, if you're not getting impressions, that's where if you want kind of a start to finish, like I said, start with looking at impressions. Well, obviously first make sure your conversion tracking is set up properly. Then look at your impressions, look at your bid in terms of what you're bidding, look at your optimization score, which your optimization score, to be fair, isn't everything, but you don't want it to be like just trash, right? What is the landing page experience? What is your CTR? How many clicks have you gotten? Because obviously if you only have like, say, 2 clicks, do you really think you're going to get a lead if you've only had 2 clicks, right? Because that's the other thing. Like, it usually takes upwards of 10 to 50 clicks, depending on the campaign that you're running, before Google kind of knows enough about your ad to show it to the right people, if that makes sense. Not to mention, you have to be going in there adding negative keywords, adding more keywords, just constant tweaking. Oh, and then, like I said, because I was trying to list out, like, just kind of step by step, where were we at? Clicks and CTR, all that stuff. And then, like we said, check out Microsoft Clarity in terms of what is the user experience. Or is there a lot of dead clicks, or what's the word, bounce rate? Like, do you have a high bounce rate? Figure out, you got to figure out where is the disconnect with the customer. Let's see. What's up, JVJ? Company is up and running. Good stuff. Up and running. I seem to be having a hard time bringing people in. I have 40 right now. That's a good start. From door knocking. Was thinking about doing door flyers or through the mail as well. Yeah, I've been debating, what's it called, EDM or something like that, where you'll purchase stuff and send it in through the post office, essentially, where it'll go to like a whole neighborhood or whatever. From what I understand, the conversion rate is relatively low, but, again, it's all about the math. Like, if I can spend $500 and I get 2 customers, 3 customers, that's probably worth it. Assuming they're going to be a customer for multiple years and not just one-time service, things of that nature. Yeah, so many ways to do it out here. Tropical Fruit Loops, how's it going this evening? Just finished my first year. Good job. Did 20,000 in August. Same here, actually. Or I think I came up just short. I think it was like 19. Because I had a termite job go out a month. Let's see. Yeah, 20,000 August. It takes hard work and time. Exactly. Yep. And it's mostly the time, right? Like, I have kind of learned at this point, kind of where I'm at, that it's not even so much like, yes, there's a lot of hard work, like you said, that first year, or even two in a lot of cases. But once you get through that first year or two, like you said there at the end, time. If you just keep doing the actions that are giving you results day after day after day after day, all you need is time, because it's going to keep compounding. It's just like an investment, right? You can't put $1,000 in the S&P 500 and then think in 2 days, oh, I'm going to pull it out and I know for a fact I'm going to have a profit, right? Because why? The market there's ups and downs. Same thing with business. As long as you continue to keep putting in more and more and more, and even during the downs, you keep just showing up more and more and more, you're going to have a positive compound effect. And next thing you know, you'll be sitting on a beach with your old lady. Let's see. Oh, how's it going there? WTF Google. If I remember right, you're from Missouri too, right? WTF Google. Trying to keep positive, but from what I've seen so far, door knocking is really the only way you can generate business. Everything else is trivial. I mean, yes and no. I mean, like I said, guys, I've never once, like a lot of people get just blown away when I say this, but I've never once knocked on a door in my life. I've passed out some door flyers, less than 500 of them. And when I say pass out, I mean literally just tagging the door and walking off, not knocking or anything. And, I took this business from 0 to 6 figures in that first year. But would I be lying if I told you that, I wouldn't be much further along if I would consider door knocking? That would just be foolish. I'd be full of shit. I'd be a liar. It just is what it is. Like, if I were to go out every spare moment that I have and door knock or hire somebody to door knock, then 100% I would be much further along myself. Like, I'm self-aware enough to admit that. However, I personally despise door knocking. It is what it is. I've never liked it. Not to say that I can't do it or that I'm scared or whatever, but I personally can't stand nothing more than when someone knocks on my fucking door. Or, excuse the language, but I can't stand it as a dad with very young kids who go to bed early. I had some idiot knock on my door at like 8:30 at night. Like, just that type of stuff, it rubs me the wrong way, and so I don't want to, be, what's the word I'm looking for? A hypocrite, right? Like, I don't want to do something that I know that I don't even like. Like, so I instead put a lot of effort and energy, like you guys that have been with the channel for a while know, into all of this online marketing, SEO, this and that, just doing what we got to do to grow the business in this new economy where, let's be real, a lot of people just aren't social anymore. Ever since COVID, a lot of people just are very antisocial, rude, they're not very inviting, right? So, and not to mention, I mean, to be fair, like I mentioned with the idiot knocking on my door at 8:30 a few weeks ago, a lot of door knockers have kind of given door knocking a bad rap. Like, yeah, it's unfortunate, but, and I mean, like I said, I never say never to anything. Maybe in a few years, once we have enough funds to do so, we'll hire a door knocking company, or maybe, just have our salesmen go out and door knock. But as of now, that's not in our deck of cards. Let's see. Could I show you my homepage on my website? Okay, so yes, we can, but also, you're not running your Google ad to your homepage, are you? Because that is rule number 1. Never run a ad, Google ad, Facebook ad, any ad. Don't ever run it to your website. You want it to run to a dedicated landing page. You can use a landing page builder if you need to. I know of a couple good ones, like Unbounced is one. You could use the more expensive ones like lead funnels if you wish. You don't really need lead funnels or whatever it's called. I'm trying to pull up an example of one of our landing pages just so you can kind of see an idea. Where are my ads at? Oh, this will work. Here, I'll pull up this one. Pull up our bedbug ad. So, come here. And this one, like, there's nothing fancy about this ad at all. Like, I have no idea how it converts so well. See how on this page here, ignore all this. This is just my webmaster tools. But when someone loads the page, from this green line here on down is what they see. What do you notice? There's no navigation whatsoever. Like, there's nowhere to click to a different page. There's no way for them to navigate. The only thing they can do is either call, fill out a form, or go back, exit the page. Pretty straightforward, right? We have everything we need, the best warranty, letting them know why we're the best, blah, 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 $95 off, everything they need to know, right? But most importantly, like we said, no navigation, which I might have done a video on that, by the way. I don't remember if I did. But if you guys want me to do a video too about how you can create landing pages on your website without using a website builder, or not website builder, landing page builder, let me know, because it does save you a lot of money. I mean, that's why I figured out how to do it. It takes a little bit of code, but very minimal. I mean, dude, if I can do it, y'all can do it. So let me know down in the chat if you all want me to do that. But yeah, definitely do not run your Google ad. Don't run any ad to your website where they can navigate around the website. You want it to be pretty much like, think about it as a internet flyer, right? An internet flyer with a call to action. That's all that you need for your ad. Sounds crazy, sounds super simple, because it is. And the more simple it is, the easier it is to convert. But yeah, if you want me to look at that homepage too, just let me know. I'm just catching up on some of these chat comments. See, we got like 14 of y'all tuning in too. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the stream. If you are, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up button. And feel free to share it with somebody too, if you know somebody that you think would benefit from this. We're always looking to add to the community. By the way, we hit over 2,900 subscribers sometime over the last week. I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. We're coming up on 3K. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe as well. Let's see. Tropical Fruit Loop says word of mouth is strong. I get 3 to 5 calls a day from word of mouth. Man, that's crazy. I get like 3 to 5 a month. Let's see. How much did that campaign generate in sales? Ooh, that's a good question. I need to do a better job of tracking that. I know I just did a bedbug job like not even 2 weeks ago for what, about 11 or 1,200 bucks. So, I mean, just that one job alone doubled the investment on the bedbug campaign. We also did, of course, the bedbug job, the infamous one that I'll always remember back in January. That was like a, what was that, like a $1,400 bedbug job. I've had like 2 other ones, because I did actually pause this campaign. I say I've been running it. I paused it from, let me see, I'm trying to do like a custom, oh yeah, it's set up on all time, that's why. Let me do just this year. Custom, we'll do, it was sometime around like January of 24, I want to say. So we'll do that to now, apply. Because I had this campaign, yeah, so I paused this campaign because, of course, you guys know that we moved earlier this year. So while all that was going on and a bunch of other shit, just, expensive stuff, I shut this campaign down right at the end of March, and then I fired it back up the last week and a half of July. Damn, CTR was crazy too, 14.5, 10. Has some good CTR. And then apparently I paused it for 1 week. I don't remember doing that, but apparently I paused it 1 week in August. So there has been some gaps. Just to put in perspective, like since January 1st, this ad has had 918 impressions, CTR of 3.5%, you know, 32, 33 clicks. And then, like we said, a handful of conversions, total cost 541. I mean, we're definitely in the positive big time on that campaign, which is why that's the main one that I've been running. Like pretty much my concept is I take the money that I get from this bedbug ad and I put it into our general pest control ad, put it into SEO, things of that nature, you know, just to keep feeding the beast, right? How's it going there, Jonathan Lawson? Love the content, big dog. Yeah, no, appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm studying to get my pest license. I follow you to learn. Man, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, if you ever have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to throw it out in the chat. I think you're in our groups too. If you're not in our Facebook group, Discord group, all that, definitely make sure to join those. Let's see, I have a decent website, been running local ads for maybe a year, done a little optimization, but I don't have many customers. A friend who started a company at the same time hired door knockers from a staffing company, and he's already got nearly a full schedule. I pretty much decided that's what I need to do next spring. Yeah, I mean, like I said, guys, I mean, hiring door knockers is going to take you to like a whole other stratosphere. Like if you get good door knockers, like you will grow very quickly. You know, like I said, I'm not saying at all that I will never hire door knockers. I'm saying me personally, I will not door knock. I'm not saying that my company will never door knock, but yeah, if you're trying to like go to a 0 to $1 million as quick as possible, you definitely need to incorporate some door knocking. This online stuff, it's what's gonna actually, you know, oh, how do I want to describe it? Like, because obviously door knocking, you can only really do it from like what, around April through about July, depending on your area, right? The online stuff, it will get you through the entire year. Like our Google Business Profile, for example, that thing gives us 25 to 60 leads every month, like clockwork. The Google Ads, right? Even if you have a light budget and you know you're still learning how to do it because it isn't something that's just easy, as we've discussed, right? Even if it gives you, say, 5 leads a month, that's another 5 leads a month. Say you get your SEO with your website on point, that's another bare minimum 5 to 50, depending on your area, leads a month. Like the online stuff, you're building what we call digital assets. Whenever you go to sell your business and you can show, hey, look at this report. We rank page 1 for this search term, this search term, this search term. This is how much traffic we get. This is how much that traffic is worth. That's where using tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush come in hand in the future when you get larger. But you're literally building digital assets that just make your business that much more valuable. Yes, door knocking is great. It'll help you expand quicker. And obviously it adds to your business as well because you're adding contracts. But with building your digital assets, your website, your Google Business Profile, all that stuff, you're building onto your business as well because like you say, you're literally building digital assets that the company that's going to take you over can utilize because they'll take over the website and everything if you decide to sell, that is. Yeah, WTF Google, if you are looking to expand in the Columbia, Missouri area, because I think you said you are from that area, I know someone close to me. Hopefully I'm not going to get in trouble for saying this, but I know someone close to me who has roughly 100 customers who is selling his business, like just looking to get out of being an owner. He's actually looking to move to Texas. So if you want to get in contact, just hit me up on our Discord group or Facebook or something. Or any of you guys, as a matter of fact, if you're in the mid-Missouri area specifically. It's not a big company or anything. He does roughly, I want to say around 100 to 120-ish in terms of general pest specifically, but maybe even less. Don't quote me on that. I'm just saying roughly 100 grand, essentially. But if you're if you're interested, then just hit me up. Anyways, back to this. From a staffing standpoint, he's already got nearly full schedule. Yeah. John Gonzalez, how's it going? Hey Griffin, thanks for your knowledge. I'm about to start a pest control business next week, man. That's awesome. Good to hear, and nice to see you. I don't know if we've had you in the chat before. Hope to see you in future streams, videos, all that stuff. Keep us updated. Always love to hear your all's journey. Keeps me motivated too. He's about to hire a second tech. Man, that's awesome. If you click on a Pest on my header, you'll be directed to my Pest landing page. So yeah, if there's a way to get that off, I would make it unclickable, or if you need to, just delete it. Oops, didn't mean to hit the phone. What am I trying to say? Yeah, if you can make those unclickable images, that'd be great, specifically for the Google ad. If not, just cut them all together. Like I said, you don't want them to be able to navigate anywhere. Either call now, submit a form, or leave the landing page. That's the only thing we want on a landing page for an ad. Let's see. You're becoming a real, don't say that word. I hate that word. You're becoming a real influencer in the pest control community. I hate that word so much. It's so grimy anymore because there's so many influencers. Let me try to get money out of you. You all know who I'm talking about, I'm sure. Or those type, I should say. For good reason, your videos really help. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I try to... Like I said, more than anything, I just try to document, what's working for us, what's not. We were talking about complacency earlier. I've been super complacent for probably the last year. I've had some good moments where I've been super, dare I go back to that horrible word, motivated, driven to do some things, but even yours truly here, I gotta constantly be doing stuff to reinforce my discipline to just, even when I don't want to answer the phone. Even when I don't want to answer that text. If y'all think I wake up every day and just roll out of bed and go, yippee, let's deal with some pissed off customers or not even pissed off, right? I don't really deal with pissed off customers, but demanding customers, right? I have a freaking daycare that we do who blew up my phone this morning because they saw one roach, and oddly, funny enough, their treatment's literally scheduled for next weekend, and I can't do it this weekend for personal reasons, but I'm just dude, my God, relax. I mean, if you don't want to see them at all, then let's do the monthly service, right? But do y'all think I roll out of bed every day and just go yippee? Nope. But guess what? I mean, it's the life we chose out here at the end of the day. I'm getting motivated to run a bed bug ad, especially since they're still out. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Believe it or not, that's the best time to run a bed bug campaign. Why? Think about it. When do people get bed bugs? Usually, 99% of the time. Travel, right? When is there a lot of traveling going on? November, December. So, usually, January, February, bed bug searches are through the freaking roof. Even December too. December, January, February, those bed bug inquiries are through the freaking roof. One thing you can do too in terms of your Google ads is go to what's called Google Trends. It's a free tool by Google, and what you can do is right now I'm going to type in bed bug treatment just for just a random bed bug search term. So I want to do not the past day. What the hell? I just want to do the past 5 years, for example. So if I look over the last 5 years, in the summer, of course, because again, travel season. When are people traveling? Early to midsummer because kids are out of school and stuff. And then again, a little bit in winter as well because of course, the holidays. So if we look, almost every year around the 4th of July or so, it always peaks in terms of interest, and then it drops off until right around, that second, third week of November, and then it starts to peak again, and then it drops off, through around the beginning of the year. And then bam, February, March, it just oddly enough spikes in March even. And this is, I'm looking at a 5-year graph too. And then, like we said, actually, the summer travel season is more busier than the winter because the winter is a lot less, right? It's a few weeks where summer is a whole month or two. So I guess it makes sense that summer travel season is higher in terms of those calls. But yeah, summer and winter, those are going to be your two seasons that, you know, if you're looking at sniping some bed bug jobs, then there you go. How do you price bed bug jobs? It depends. I mean, you know, if possible, try to get an inspection. But for the most part, I overprice on purpose over the phone, and I let them know up front that, hey, there is a chance that your treatment could be cheaper. We just, you know, if we're trying to give a price over the phone, we want to assume kind of the worst case and then work it down from there. Just, we don't want to get there and then you feel like you've been bait and switch because we priced it at the lowest and then we're like, oh, now we got to raise it 500 or whatever, right? Usually at the minimum, say it's like a 1-bedroom apartment or studio or townhome, whatever the case may be, something real small, you know, our minimum is, you know, $900 across the board. Like that's the minimum because we do chemical treatment. We don't have all the heat treatment equipment, anything like that. Now, if we land some hotels and stuff like that in the future where we have to have the heat treating equipment, we will. But right now we don't have the need for it, so we don't use it. Therefore, we're doing the chemical method. You know, our costs are very light. Like we use Alpine WSG for the most part, sometimes Tempered, dare I say sometimes Crossfire as well, but usually Alpine WSG or Tempered will take care of them, and comes with a 90-day warranty. And then, like I said, you know, $900 is the minimum. The most expensive one that I've done so far was around like $2,100, but yeah, usually I would say my average is going to be around like $1,400 or so. And, you know, the more bedrooms that there are, the cheaper per bedroom it is. But like I said, the minimum that we'll do one for is like $900. I need to just hire you to look at my stuff, your numbers or something. My numbers are all right. They're all right, but they ain't nothing to brag about. Bryson Jones, I built my pest business to 239 customers, 190 in sales revenue in 5 months. That's awesome, man. My brother follows me in our truck and just knock doors telling people I'm a small. That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's actually not a bad idea. Matter of fact, yeah, you just gave me an idea. I'm gonna jot that down. Actually, you know what I can do because I'm streaming on my phone? Screenshot. There we go. I'll screenshot that comment. You just gave me a little idea for something. Yeah, no, that's awesome. 5 months. Yeah, I mean, see, guys, like the power of door knocking if you're doing it properly. It's pretty amazing. Tried knocking myself, but couldn't stand it. I need to hide. Exactly. Yeah, you're the same as me from that standpoint. I think with bedbug, you need to know your customer's personality. Some people never prep. Yes, that's the other thing. I make sure on the phone. I lost a customer from the Google ad, as a matter of fact, because I was just explaining to them what I need from them. I was like, I told her, I was like, you know, I need this, and I need this. It was like, I have like 3 or 4 things that I tell them to do. And I was like, now I know that can seem like a lot of stuff. So if you guys need a day or two, or because they called on like a Wednesday, I was like, if you need a day or two, or you think you may even need the weekend to prepare, we can always do it next week if we need to. I was like, or if you think, you know, that you can have all that done today or tomorrow, you know, we can get it done before the weekend. And the woman, like, got all attitude about it. She's like, well, I need this done ASAP. So I'm just going to go with the other company I talked to, who was only going out there to inspect, by the way. They weren't even going out there to treat, which I guarantee was a big company. But, yeah, I mean, if people aren't willing, and that's where, again, like, if I can tell that's how the conversation is going, that they're not going to prep, then, again, we're going to price it at the extreme and, you know, make it worth the money, or make it worth the time, that is. trying to get our name out, and if you want our service, this is how much and what we do. Then I sell the person. Exactly. Whoa, I was typing when you said that, and I missed the first part. Guess I'll have to join the Discord. Discord should be in my LinkTree. Now, I will say my LinkTree may not be working right now because I accidentally forgot to update my card on LinkTree to a different one. Let me see if it's working right now. I want to make sure my LinkTree is working for you guys. Let's see. Log in. But there should be a link in my link. There should be a link in my description box of this stream that says like my LinkTree. And if you click that and it is working, there should be something that says like join our Discord or something like that. Let's see. It looks like it should be working still, but I don't know for sure. So y'all can let me know if it's not. I'll get that updated tonight. That way it'll keep working for you guys. But yeah, you can join the Discord, or even, like I said, on Facebook too. If you're on Facebook, we have that Pest Control Entrepreneurs Facebook group as well, with over 130 people in there now too. First time on the chat, been watching your videos. Yes, sir. Awesome. Love to have you here. Javi Sidhu, how's it going? For a new company with not many clients, is it worth offering monthly packages to residential customers just because it's not that much where I live? It's like $35 per month after 2 free follow-ups. For a new company, offering monthly packages. Yeah, I mean... And to be fair, I don't know much about the Canadian market up there when it comes to residential pest control. I'm assuming for the $35 a month, that's quarterly service after 2 free follow-ups. Yeah, you can let me know if that's not a quarterly service, because like what we do is like we'll charge, say, $35 a month for like a 1,500 square foot home, but it's quarterly, meaning that, we're essentially getting $105 plus tax for... the service. Yeah, some hotels get weird, WTF Google, and they like put in the contract that they only want heat treatments, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. My only big account is a guy who owns 3 hotels, and I do bed bugs pretty rare. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, them bed bugs and them hotels. Man. Yeah, no, Crossfire, Alpine WSG, Temperate, those chemicals work very, very good for bed bugs. People love when I tell them I'm a small business, and they love to support you. Yes, that is one thing that I will say. During 2020 and 2021, people were very, very open about like supporting small businesses. Now, I feel like people still do, but it's definitely not like it was during 2020, 2021. Those 2 years there were like the golden era, the gold rush of like small businesses gaining business. Just found the LinkTree and join. Okay, so at least it's working. Good to know. Yeah. Any links that would be helpful for you guys will always be in the LinkTree. It should say somewhere in that description, like my LinkTree or helpful links or something like that. And in there, I mean, we got. I need to take one of these off. Actually, get rid of that. Delete. Okay. Yeah, in there it should have, delete that one too. We should have, the 2 free weeks of GorillaDesk, of course, GorillaDesk PRO, that is, the Pest Control Entrepreneurs Facebook group, our Discord group, our TikTok page, the podcast, which I need to do better about, uploading these onto the podcast as well. But yeah, any link that should be beneficial. I should put the OpenPhone link in there as well for you guys. I'll work on getting that done too. But Yeah, any links that would be helpful for you guys, I try to make sure to keep that link tree pretty updated. That way, you guys just get what you need at the end of the day. Do quarterlies for Pest in Canada. My wife is Canadian. Her parents pay $170 a quarter in Alberta. Man, that's a lot. Whew. It's not a lot. I have customers that are paying that per month. So it all just depends, obviously, on, like we said, Canada, from what I understand, it's not the cheapest country to live in anymore. How big is the house? There's obviously a lot of moving parts. But yeah, I think regardless of where you are at, always start with quarterly service and then work your way down as needed. Like we were talking about earlier on the stream, there's some cases where monthly service is needed. There's some cases where quarterly service will work just fine. It just, it depends at the end of the day. So, yeah, no, like we said, I think overall this was actually a pretty constructive, helpful stream for you guys. If you're just tuning in, I would definitely rewind back to the beginning. I know it's a longer stream tonight, but we went over a lot of good stuff tonight. We dove into Google Ads stuff a little bit. We talked about SEO, talked about complacency and this and that and the other. We talked about a lot of good stuff tonight. Like I said, the main thing that we're working on right now is just obviously continuing trying to add more recurring customers, and then we're firing up SEO services with digital overlords, right? I keep forgetting their freaking name. Where the hell is that email? Yeah, digital overlords. We're getting fired up with them, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated. Obviously, when it comes to SEO, it's a marathon, so I'm not going to give any type of review or anything like that on them for probably at least till March of next year at the earliest, just because I know it can take 3 to 12 months before you start seeing some crazy good results. SEO, like I said, it's not a race. It takes consistent time and just doing stuff over and over and over, the right stuff, not just stuff, the right stuff, before you start seeing the effects of that. How's it going, Rich O'Cat? Hey all, question, kind of a weird one. I'm a tech for a small company. Some of our jobs are an hour away. What do you say is fair as far as clock in and out times? Our current procedure is clock in at the first stop, clock out at the end of the last stop. I understand that's industry standard, but like I said, we are very rural and have very far travel distances. Even when I was at Terminex, they were so for a very brief time, they were so on us about don't clock in when you leave your house. You need to be clocking in at your first stop, clock out at your last. And that was when I lived in my route essentially. My first stop would be no more than 10 minutes from my house, usually, maybe 18, worst case scenario, 10 to 18 minutes. And like I told them, and they didn't really have a comeback for it at all. I was like, look, this is not an office job. My truck is my office. I can accept phone calls in that truck. Like a customer could call me while I'm in that truck. I could get in a wreck and get in trouble while I'm in that truck. That job is also a moving billboard for you. It is my office at the end of the day. Therefore, from the moment that I get in that truck, I am clocked in. From the moment I get out of that truck, I'm clocked in. It sounds like you may or may not take your truck home too. So, that's how I approached it with Terminex. And they tried to, give a little pushback, but they really didn't have a comeback at the end of the day because they knew that I was right about that. And not to mention, it's insurance BS is why they're doing that. Because, if you get in a wreck in the company vehicle while you're not clocked in, guess who's going to, get screwed in that deal? the employee. So me personally, if they don't understand that, then, sucks to be them, but I'd be like, I'm not putting myself at risk for you guys. Like, I'm not worried about the freaking extra couple dollars that I'm going to get for that. And it sounds like you're probably an hourly employee too. So, just another case and point of why you should be paying guys production if you can. And that was the thing with Terminex too. Like I told them, I was like, guys, we're not paid by the hour. We're paid for production, commission. Like clocking in shouldn't matter. But like I said, I knew because I have a business background to a degree before I started this business. I knew that it was just insurance bullshit is what it was. They were trying to limit the risk. So yeah, no, that's just, how I handled it. If you want to handle it that way, by all means do it. They might fire you, just to be blunt, but that's me. Like I'm trying to limit my risk. They're trying to limit their risk. I'm trying to limit my risk. It is what it is. Have you ever heard of Pest Share? Oh, I feel like I have. I feel like my cousin up in the Midwest was telling me about it. He said that he didn't know about it. Let's just put it that way. Like he was like, it seems okay, but didn't know for sure if it was worth it. Let's see. I do take it home. We are a small family company. I don't mind, but sometimes it's kind of tough. I do get paid for an extra hour every day, no matter the distance. Sometimes it works out. Yeah, and I would even, because like I said, I mean, this sounds like the same thing. It sounds like it's an insurance thing. I would literally tell them, look, I don't need the extra hour. Like, I don't care about the extra hour. Like you said, you could even say, like, I get it. There's days that, I would make less, but I feel most comfortable being clocked in from the moment I leave till the moment I get back. If it's that big of a deal for you. Like, for me, it is that big of a deal. But if it's not that big of a deal to you, then, leave it alone. But like me personally, it's, like I said, it's a risk thing. Yeah, no problem. Let's see, they take contracts to maintain pest control for large property owners. I'm about to sign up, but yes. I remember my cousin mentioning that you'd have to like increase the insurance. I think have like workers' comp insurance, all this other stuff. Hoping they'll provide enough work to be worthwhile. Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of them things, like I always tell people, like, if something seems, like, legit, you might as well at least try it out, and if it doesn't, that was how I originally got started on Google local service ads, the Google LSA, Google Guarantee, whatever you want to refer to it as. I was like, I mean, seems too good to be true, but I was like, it is a Google product, though, so, I mean, let's try it out and see what happens. And sure enough, we were getting customers for $25 to $50 per acquisition. So, I mean, it was awesome there for a little bit until it got oversaturated. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying some stuff out. Worst comes to worst, you cut your ties and you move on. And, better than wondering what if. Like, what if I did that? What if I hate having what ifs. That's just me. But yeah, no, on that note, we're pushing an hour and a half already, so we'll probably start wrapping this stream up. If you haven't already, by the way, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up button. I say we got like 12 likes so far. If you haven't liked it already and you did, take some valuable information from tonight's stream. Do me a favor and smash the thumbs up button. And like I said, too, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell icon. We're on that road to 3,000 subscribers. Last I looked, we're at like 2,905, 2,906, something like that. So shout out to all of you who've been subscribing lately, sharing the channel and videos with people that you think could benefit from it. If you think anyone could benefit from this live stream, share it with them as well. Do yours. That's the only thing I ask from y'all is just share the content. Share it with people that you think could benefit from it. Just spread the message, spread the word of the pest control business. It's worth it for everybody who is looking at starting and growing their business. And it's nice to just have more and more people tuning in. I remember one stream recently, we had somewhere around like 20 plus people in. Like it doesn't seem like much. Like to a lot of people, having 5 to 20 people on a stream isn't nothing, because you see all these freaking streamers with like thousands of people watching their shit at any given moment. But like I explained to my wife one night, I was like, think about it. If you got 15 people, 10 people, 20 people just watching a stream, think about if you were in a auditorium or something, and you literally had like 15, 20 people there listening. It's literally the same thing. That's the same concept. So, it's just cool to see that we continue to have more people in here. I appreciate you guys always for tuning in. Like I said, I plan on at least continuing to do these live streams when I can. Hopefully now that I'll be hiring out digital overlords to help out with the SEO. Hopefully that'll take some things off my plate and maybe be able to do a couple more streams and videos and things of that nature for you guys. And like I said, if you see this after it goes from a live stream to a video and you have any questions, just drop it in the comments and we'll try to make sure to get that whenever we do our next stream or video for you guys. I appreciate you all. You all have a great weekend out there. Go out there, get the money, get the life that you and your family deserve. God bless you all. I'll see you all in the next one.